Hello everybody, Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Fan Vote Battle Pack. Now, the Fan Vote Battle Pack comes with 3 different figures, not just 2. We have Hollow Mirage here on the right, Decepticon Impactor here on the left, and then a Power Dasher that nobody asked for. Specifically, Power Dasher Aragon. Yeah. He's a repaint of Cog with a slight, repaint of Cog with a new head. So let's go ahead and open up these figures and take a look. Remember, for knife safety, always cut away from you or down towards the table. As you can see, each figure comes in their own sleeve and on their own tray. And poor Aragon is, oh boy, he's pretty messed up. I mean, look at that. And then he's split apart and being held by Impactor over there. Well, let's go ahead and get them out of there. All right, all 3 of them out of the box look pretty darn good. Now, Mirage is by far the most interesting in terms of new paint for me, simply because, well, he's completely translucent and he's got powder blue on all the joints. And that is actually quite interesting to me. I realize this is supposed to be his holo mode, which is weird because holograms were Hound's thing, not Mirage. Mirage was invisibility. So yeah, we'll do a closer up look of him in just a minute. Aragon is actually really interesting to me because I think the red works here better than it does on Chromar. And the grays and the blacks I think are also better. Even though he's just as monochromatic as Chromar, I think the red works better because it's broken up by black and yellow of the wheels and some silver. And the head sculpt is really nice. We'll do a close-up look of that in a second. And then Impactor, this is the Decepticon version of Impactor. He's got a little Decepticon symbol right there. And the biggest differences are the paint. He's got some more yellow on the shins. On his knees, he's got this red. Then he's got these construction paint or highlights on his shoulders and on his chest. His pectorals are a slightly different shade of yellow. He's got this little yellow on the tip of his cannon. And then his head sculpt, which, again, we'll do a close-up look here in just a second. Overall, all of these 3 look pretty good. I don't like translucent figures. I never have, and I don't care for the look of this Mirage. That's just a personal preference of mine. I just don't like translucent figures. Taking a look at Mirage from toe to head, you could see that the figure looks pretty good, though the detailing is a little bit muted thanks to the translucent plastic. Overall, I like it, but again, I'm still just not a huge fan of translucent plastic. A very unique thing about this figure is that Mirage's head sculpt is completely different. It is more of a G1 aesthetic, and it is much thinner than the figure that we got as a regular deluxe class figure. Also, it kind of looks like Crasher from GoBots. Other than the translucent plastic and the different head sculpt on Hollow Mirage, the figures are exactly the same, straight down to every other bit of molding, though it is kind of hard to see because, as I said, you lose a lot of detail with this guy. Overall, I really like Siege's Mirage, but I kind of really dig the new head sculpt on this Mirage. Transformation for this new Mirage is exactly the same as the previous Siege figure. I'm going to go ahead and transform it rather quickly. So if you really want to see the transformation a little bit slower, go ahead and check out my Mirage review that is going to be linked down in the description. And hopefully if I could get the title card to show up there in the corner. So that's pretty much, it's the same figure with a different head sculpt. So flip that, forgot to flip that down, flip that around. Turn the legs 360 degrees, take the feet and fold them up. Turn the figures so that the... whoops. I was not supposed to turn the legs around. Fold the shins up, get them snapped into place, flip out the front wheels all the way. fold and flip. Get these sandwiched together. And then collapse everything and peg it into place. And, whoop. Come here, air intakes. Get in there. There we go. That's still not right. The new car mode works pretty well, and I do think it looks pretty good. I'm not going to compare it to the original Mirage because you've seen it enough. The only big difference is in this mode, there is this texturing going on and this spotting going on that is really interesting. It breaks it up, and I'm not sure how well that's showing up on camera, but you could see it right here. And I don't know if that's intentional on the plastic, but you could still see the 26 that's a callback to his original G1 mode, or his G1 alt mode. But yeah, there's this weird spotting going on the blue. I mean, it's not bad, but it is weird. It's kind of cool, though. Overall, I think it works, but again, I'm just not a fan of translucent plastic. Camera, stop it. Something of interest that I did not pick up on initially, and it's really hard to see, but Visages and CBC, and there's a Z in there, those are all advertisements that I think were on the original figure. And you can also see the 26 that's back here as well, though it's really hard to see. It works a lot better in person than it does here on camera. Those are nice little touches that I would have liked to have seen on the actual figure with it painted correctly. Next up are the impactors, and the one we have here on the left is the standard release, and the one here on the right is from the fan vote. The figures are exactly the same in terms of posability. Paint is a little bit different. As you can see, the knees are different. The shins are slightly different. The paint on the standard release is much brighter yellow. The little caution tape on the shoulders and on the top of the chest. The pectorals are slightly different in person. It is not showing up on camera, though. And obviously, the head sculpts are completely different. One major difference with these two little head sculpts has to do with the transformation. And this is really interesting, and I didn't really think about it until I started futzing with the figures. The general release has this seam that goes along the top. This seam is perfect for getting your fingernail in and pulling the head up from the back during the transformation back into robot mode. The more Centurion head lacks that. I end up needing something soft and plasticky to wedge down in there to lever up his head. It's something I've never thought about, but it is an interesting difference between the two figures. Now, I have already reviewed this figure once before, and I will put the title card hopefully up there. If it doesn't, it'll be down. If it doesn't show up, it's down in the description. Oh, yeah, forgot one other key difference. Look at the difference in the shoulder blasters. The one in the fan vote has a lot more paint on it than the one in the general release. So yeah, those are the chief differences. Transformation, again, is exactly the same. So to start off with, open up the back, turn the head around 180 degrees. And after the Chromar incident, I'm really careful with the heads on these figures. Fold the fists up, open up the chest, flip the cannon over. Well, kind of flip the cannon halfway so you can lift the chest up all the way. Point the arms forward, turn the forearms 180 degrees. And then fold the forearm or the shoulders up into the body, and then we can attach the gun or the cannon here before we fold up the other arm. Fold up the second arm, connect everything up, close that down, and snap it into place. Fold the cannon up, put the legs together, fold the toes up, flip the feet out to the outside of the legs. Collapse the ab crunch, then swing the outside of the legs around to the other side and peg them into place, and then replace the cannon that fell off. Tank mode is exactly the same as before. It's still a really nice little tanky tank. Turret still spins 360 degrees. I do appreciate the extra caution on the side, the caution tape decal. I don't know. I really like this tank mode. I said in my Impactor review that the tank mode is excellent, and it continues to be excellent. And it's just a good little solid tank mode. And I actually like the head sculpt on this guy a little bit better. Maybe that's because I'm more of an IDW fan than an original UK comics fan. That just might be a personal thing. I don't know. I've never actually read those original UK Marvel comics, so maybe I should go back and do that. Finally, we have Aragon, who is big and chunky, and I think looks pretty good, even though he's very monochromatic. I also think the head sculpt is really cool. I like the head sculpt a lot, and I really like the Power Dashers head sculpts in general. They're all really good. Now, Aragon's here is silver with yellow just underneath the eyes and some beautiful baby blues. Hasbro's really been knocking it out of the park with these head sculpts and the nice coloring of the eyes. It's just that little attention to detail is greatly appreciated. The figure's transformation into its vehicle mode is the same as Cog's, which, oh yeah, before I do that, let me show you Aragon next to Cog. I think both of these guys work really well. I like Cog a little bit more because the silver in the chest breaks up the monochromatic blue, and then it's just got a little bit more differentiation with the colors, but I still like our Power Dasher friend over here. All right, enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into the transformation, which is literally just ripping the poor dude apart. We don't have to pull the legs apart, but we do have to turn the head around and fold the head down. We could just leave the legs like this. Yeah, we can. Oh, no, we can't. I forgot about that. Oh, I'm so stupid. So yeah, we actually do need to pull the legs apart and then fold them up and around, get them pegged into place. And then there's that little tab that'll peg into the back. Can you tell it's been a while since I've transformed this mold? Then we can peg the arms up here, or I can't remember, do they go in the back? No, they go up here. And then these go down here. And there we go. That is his alt mode. It's still very, very silly, but it works. And like the original figure, or like Cog, it can split apart into two vehicle modes, which I actually think is a really nice touch. Of the three weaponizers that we have so far, the fact that this mold can split into two vehicle modes is nice. I like it. Overall, this set is pretty neat and a decent addition to the Siege line. However, I think that Mirage it's not my favorite, but I could see where plenty of people would like it. I like the Impactor, and I really like the Aragon. I think the Aragon is my favorite of the three Power Dasher figures that have been released. The set is totally interesting, and now I picked it up over on Amazon, and I believe it's going to be showing up on the Big Bad Toy Store and the Chosen Prime any day now, but right now it's an Amazon exclusive. It's just such a weird set, these three. We got the fan vote, and then we got what is essentially not the figures that the fans really wanted, plus a Power Dasher nobody asked for. It's just such an odd set, because we got a Mirage that we wanted, and we got a really good Impactor. So what was the point of the fan vote? And we're getting a Wheeljack and a Spinister, and I'm sure we're going to end up with a Needle Nose and a Trax later on. And Trax will probably be a repaint of Wheeljack. Needle Nose will probably be a heavily remolded Spinister. So who knows? I mean, this is just such a weird thing that Hasbro has done. So who knows at this point? So folks, let me know what you think of these figures down in the comments. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And thank you so much for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I will catch you all next time.